abortion?
Listen, I'm telling you, anytime I'm pregnant, I will have an abortion. I don't know about you. Because as you know as well, women
really proud of this.
You're privileged as hell. You're privileged as hell.
Watch this to the end and tell me how long you can go without being absolutely disgusted. Let's watch.
Hi. I think that the legislature that you're trying to pass puts you down a very weird rabbit hole, and I don't understand. There's a lot of things I don't understand. So first thing, what is the citizenship of unborn fetuses conceived in the United States?
It's the same as children who are born prematurely in the United States or who are birthed in hospitals.
So if I were to become pregnant right now on U.S. soil, I would be pregnant with a U.S. citizen?
Well, no, not right now with our laws, because right now your child is in
Okay, no, I'm talking about your post-Roe versus Wade world. That child would be a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to go back to my country, where it is legal for me to do what I want to do with my body, would that be illegal to the U.S.? Is that an offense to the U.S. because I would be killing a U.S. citizen?
That's a very good question.
This is your rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I'm assuming that you're one of the Republicans who are against illegal immigration, Mexicans, crazy, whatever, you cannot, if I were a Mexican woman that you want to deport and I say I am pregnant with a U.S. citizen, what are you going to do? You cannot deport Mexican women after that. This is the rabbit hole that you're going to create.
Sure.
And I think by the end of what I'm saying, you're going to reply with, I don't know. That's what it's going to be.
No, I actually think this is actually a really good conversation. That's why I'm here. Because this is
These are things that you do not consider.
Well, this is a conversation we need to have. And I'm actually excited that we're actually having this conversation. This is a good conversation to have.
Well, I'm glad
so
you're
what
excited.
happens to an illegal immigrant woman who comes from Mexico or Central America or whatever, becomes impregnated in the United States, and now she's carrying a child? Should she be deported? I would say no.
Okay.
That's super simple.
So I am from a country where a lot of Americans, vacation. And if I were to have sex with an American man and I were to become pregnant with an American child, because you know that any American person's any child that they have is a U.S. citizen, could I deport that child conceived in my country under the laws in my country where I am allowed to deport children?
You're going to deport your own child?
I mean, where I am allowed to have an abortion in my own country.
I mean, okay, so
I don't know.
You're saying you get pregnant in your country?
My country, where an American man came to my country.
Sure.
Yes. And we had sex, and I conceived a U.S. citizen.
A U.S. citizen? I don't know. I mean, maybe
you don't know. Okay, see, I said it.
I don't know.
You were going to say I don't know.
I'm not an international lawyer, so it'd be the
These are things that you need to consider before you put up crap like this. You cannot start talking about. You cannot talk about wanting to make things illegal without considering the things that happen.
We should just keep on killing the babies left and right and never have a discussion about this ever. Is that what you want to say?
We should read books. We should study things, we should research things before we get up on stages of universities and act like fools. Look at the thing that you have there. You're acting like a fool. You do not know what you...
What does abortion do? What does abortion do?
Are you kidding me, bro? It is an exercise of my right to do what I want to do with my body. God gave you one womb. Well, I don't know how many wombs God gave you, but He didn't give you mine. So you can leave mine alone. That is all I'm trying to say to you.
Abortion?
Listen, I'm telling you, anytime I'm pregnant, I will have an abortion. I don't know about you. Because as you know as well, women
really proud of this.
Women used to use hangers to your laws are not going to make your laws are not going to make abortion impossible. Your laws are making abortion inaccessible, and people will still have
illegal and unthinkable. That's why I said at the beginning of my presentation, our goal in the pro-life movement is twofold. But I'm asking you a question. What happens in an abortion?
I get to choose what is mine and what is
If there's nothing wrong with what happens in abortion, then tell me what happens in abortion. If it's so good, tell me what happens in abortion.
A fetus, a clump of cells that I did not ask to be here, they can go. They can go. If that person...
I'm a clump of cells. Can you abort me?
I would, because I don't know what you're up there doing today. I don't know what you're up there doing today. You need to sit down with a book, and you need to sit down. I don't know if you need to enroll at a university.
Explain to me what happens in abortion. So a clump of cells.
You know, and you do not know what happens when you make laws like this. You do not understand what your Roe versus Wade world would look like. And you think it's funny. That's the same thing I said to you outside. You think this is funny? You
no, I think this is an important discussion to have, ma'am. We don't have this discussion. This is important.
Half the people in this room are on student loans. And you want them to have children? You know how much children cost? You're privileged as hell. You're privileged as hell. You have 4 kids. They have medical issues. I cannot afford a medical bill, $1,000 medical bill, as such that half of these children in here cannot afford. And you're making these laws because you can afford a $1,000 bill.
What happens in
Can you afford a $1,000 medical bill right now? Yes, you can, but half the people in this room can't afford it. And then you stand there talking about, oh, let's give women what they need. Women do not need. Why are we putting women in a position that they need to be supported? Why can't women be
this, ma'am?
Why can't women be independent on their own? Why can't women just live in a world where they can make their own decisions on their own bodies and their own time? I do not need you to help me. I do not need you to give me anything. Like, let me do what I want to with my body.
But it's not just your body when we talk about abortion.
You are
We're talking about
that's the way it is, and I don't.
beings.
Two
human beings.
At the beginning of it, I said you were going to say the words "I don't know" before I was done, and you did. You do not know what you're up here doing. So please go and read a book.
So I'm ill-educated. I'm privileged. What else did you call me? You want throw any other things at me about?
Nobody's throwing a damn thing.
This is exactly why we're here. Because we need to be able to have this discussion. That's an important question. What happens? What's the citizen? Ma'am, you're done.
I told you this already. Don't look at me, girl.
Yes, because you come here, you don't want to have a conversation.
We do want to help.
We get it. But this is an important discussion to have. What is the legal status of a fetus, of a child who's conceived by 2 Americans internationally? I don't know how we're going to talk about it. That's going to be a hard discussion to have. And we're going to have to figure it out. Maybe citizenship only gets applied in the country of your birth. But this is an important discussion to have. But we don't even have these discussions in America today because we say, just have the abortion because it's my body, my damn choice. But guess what? It's not your body. There's another human being that we're talking about. And in the pro-life movement, we say both her body and the child's body have equal value because we're both human persons.
Did you find that uncomfortable to watch? Yo, do you know what? One thing that was so clear about that? She began it with all these straw man arguments about legal structure and stuff. And then halfway through, she made it really clear. She just wanted to come up here and make Kristan Hawkins look like a fool. Tried to make her look silly so she could get back at her for calling out abortion as truly evil because that's what it is. And she came with all these ridiculous straw men trying to expose the heart of her message. And we're going to get to the heart of her message in just a second. But firstly, a child should be a citizen according to its parents' citizenship. 2 parents are American. It shouldn't matter where that child is born. I think it's a ridiculous law that you become a citizen in the place you're given birth or a place that you're born. That's just an incentive for people to come all over the place and gain citizenship through the back door. So it's very simple. It shouldn't be that difficult. Parents are from 2 different countries. You have dual citizenship. Should be simple. But she tried to make it seem so complicated. And then to hear her say,
I'm telling you, anytime I'm pregnant, I will have an abortion.
Who do you think you're hurting? Do you think you're going to get at Kristan Hawkins? It's yourself and your children that you're hurting. And this is the thing. The Bible tells us there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. When you feel like you're right in your own eyes and you reject God's wisdom and God's goodness, You might not realize it. This woman doesn't realize it, but literally her plans end in death. And she might not care about those lives. But I tell you who does. The living God. And he will have vengeance for the blood that is spilt. You see, you heard it in what she was saying. Everything was about my body. She doesn't care about the law. She doesn't care about the babies. She cares about the ability to make actions and not deal with the consequences, and to have complete freedom, ultimately to be her own God. Never mind the fact that if you don't want to get pregnant, you can keep your legs closed. Not having sex is free. Not having sex outside the wedlock is free. No one is forcing you to have children. Never mind that. She wants to be able to have sex with anyone she wants to at any time, unprotected, and not have to worry about the child that comes. And then had the audacity to say that Kristan Hawkins is privileged, whilst you stand here in a university that has been paid for by somebody, and then make claims about life, make claims about abortion. And obviously she didn't want to answer the question about what happens in an abortion, because in order for us to carry out things like this, we have to silence our conscience. That's why people have to say stuff like, it's not a life. You have to dehumanize them to try and satisfy your conscience. Or you have to say, but you know, abortion saves lives, even though it doesn't. Or, abortion is the only way that women can have autonomy, even though it's not, to try and make it a justice thing. And in all of these things, what people are trying to do is they are trying to be their own God. See, Jesus says in Matthew 22, should we pay taxes to Caesar? Jesus' response, whose face is on the coin? The coin, it was a Roman coin, it had Caesar's face on it. So they said Caesar's. Then Jesus said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. Now, let me ask you a question. Whose image is on you? It's God's image. Because as people, we are made in the image of God. What does that mean? It means our bodies, that we belong to God. And so there is no excuse to disobey God, and there's no excuse to take the innocent life of a child. And this is why we need to keep on sounding the alarm about this, because so many people have blood on their hands. So many of our sisters, of our mothers, of our daughters have blood on their hands because they've been lied to think that abortion is okay. But God will not be mocked. God will not be mocked. And unless this practice comes to an end, where abortion is illegal, people who provide abortions are imprisoned. Unless that happens, boy, I know it sounds tough. It's like, wow, how can you really be saying that? But it's murder. What else will we do about murder? There is forgiveness, and that forgiveness can be found in Jesus. And I pray by God's grace that she and everybody else who encourages this evil practice that's killed more people than Hitler killed, I pray that they would repent and turn to Christ. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Well, you get what I mean. Peace and blessings.